interview by saying congratulations on the film. I've had a chance to sit down and watch it, and I loved it, so congratulations.
Oh, great. Thanks for watching it.
So, mate, tell us a little bit about how you first became involved with this film.
Oh, my gosh. I made a couple, a really small movie called Technically Crazy with some of my friends in Texas. And they went on to do some other things, and I guess Frankie, one of the producers, got an opportunity to do this movie and was like, "Hey, do you want to come direct this movie? We need some help doing this." And I was like, "Sure." So we kind of went to Texas and, started building this movie. So we kind of had a chance to, find a script and kind of do this thing. And, I guess it was kind of I don't know, I felt a little lucky kind of getting this opportunity. Just kind of came almost out of nowhere. Yeah, I don't know what else.
Well, what was it about the script that really attracted you to it? Was there something when you first read it that made you think, I want to make this film?
Well, it's a buddy of mine wrote it, so that kind of goes into play. Greg Schaus, I've made it. I worked with him on several films, and he wrote Technically Crazy, which we shot, which is the same crew that did this movie. And we were looking for a horror movie, and we went to film festivals. We went to, we sent out the word for scripts. I had a whole bunch of people send me scripts. We read, several scripts, and during that time, I reached out to Greg, and I was like, "Hey, man, we're looking for a script. Do you want to write something?" And he was like, "Sure." So he kind of worked on this while we were hunting for a script, and I think he had a little advantage because he knew all my friends. He knew kind of the stuff that I liked. He knows that I'm into sci-fi. So, and he knew that we were friends with, Steven and Cassie, who were the stars of the show, and it kind of made it a vehicle for them. And we all kind of jumped on board, and it was kind of a fun little movie to do. So, yeah.
So I have to ask now, where did that love for sci-fi come about for you?
Oh my God. Growing up, I'm an 80s kid, so I watched Aliens, I'm a big James Cameron fan, and, any of that world. I'm a Star Trek fan, that world is where I kind of grew up in, so.
Yeah. You mentioned about working with friends. I do the same thing here, and quite often we have people say to us, "Oh, you guys need to branch out. You need to work with other people to get more experience." What do you like about working with people that you're friends with and that you've worked with in the past? What is it that you enjoy about that?
There's a shorthand, and you're buddies, so you know what's going on, and you can tell when they're upset, or you can tell when they're having a good time, and you can kind of communicate a little faster, a little quicker, and you don't have a whole lot of time when you're doing a feature film. It's just like, get it done. You gotta move it, and you're moving pretty fast. So to eliminate all the the uncomfortableness of being with new people, or trying to communicate, or trying to position yourself in situations, it goes just easier. So I don't know, and it's more fun. I think that's the key, is to have fun when you're doing it. So
yeah,
but I don't know. That's kind of where I come from.
Yeah, and did you always know that Stephen and Cassie were going to take the lead roles in this?
No, we actually did do a casting call, and we did interview, or we did a lot of hunting for actors, and I kind of, like, Frankie's real good friends with Cassie and Steven. He's one of the producers, and it just made financial sense to go with our people that we worked with before, and it's a small movie, so we couldn't really get a huge star or anything like that. So it was it just worked out, and was really fun. It was a cool experience. We shot in one location. Like the whole most 90% of the movie was shot at this ranch where this house is at, and it was like a Texas ranch. I don't know, and there was like a couple little houses there, and there was a place with like 12 rooms, and so the whole cast and crew stayed there, and we kind of lived there for like 3 weeks shooting this film. So that was kind of cool.
Did that kind of make it easier with all the COVID stuff going on as well, that you were able to live there and work on the ranch without having to go out too much?
Well, actually, this movie, we shot it a long time ago. So this was shot before COVID.
Yep.
So we didn't actually have to deal with COVID, which kind of, I mean, I don't know. I guess it would have helped if it was, being on one location, but we didn't have to. Yeah, this was before COVID, so it made it, making a movie COVID times, I think, would be very much harder.
Yeah, so. But I found from the past, when the cast and crew are able to stay together like that and that closeness, you get something from the film that you don't get from other films where, say, the star is going to a 5-star hotel every night. Did you find that it created a closeness?
Yeah, I think so. I think the crew actually believed that the house they were in was actually haunted, and they were scared of it, and so everybody kind of would team up and watch each other's backs. So it was kind of funny, but yeah, it was like this. The ranch is like I don't know what it would call it. It's like a dude ranch kind of like it's like like I think the Salvation Army owns it. And you do events there, like you can have group meetings and whatnot. And had that one big house there that we ended up using for the show house. But yeah, I don't know. We ended up hanging out. A lot of times we'd end up at the truck, where all the gear is held, and everybody would hang out there. Some people didn't sleep. I don't know how they did that. I had to sleep. I was so exhausted. It was so tiring for me. I had to, I was running around like crazy, and then just hit the bed right when we're done. I went straight to sleep. But a lot of the crew had a good time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, I would definitely do that again. If I had a chance, I would definitely bring the crew together.
Was there anything that led them to believe that it was haunted, or was it just because of the script being so realistic?
I think somebody saw something that night, and I think they're just kind of spooked out, because it was in the middle of nowhere. It was it was south of Dallas in this little town called Midlothian, and it was out in the it was like in a farmland, and so there there's nothing for a couple miles at least. So it was a little creepy out there in the middle of the night. So and I guess you can hear cows and stuff randomly, and they made weird noises at night, and I don't know, it was just kind of creepy. So, but I don't know who. Yeah, I think it was Frankie was the one who was kind of freaked out the most about the ghost. So he kind of thought it was spooky.
Tell us a little bit about what it's like working with Steven, because I see him as one of the most underrated actors going around at the moment. I loved his work on a film called The Rake a few years ago, and what's he like to work with?
Steven is a sweetheart. There's nothing. That guy is so nice, and he's really a chill dude and very, very professional. So everything he did was great. It's so funny because we had to make him mean in this show. He had to be kind of this, almost like on the borderline of abusive to his kids. And he's such a sweetheart that it's, he did a pretty good job of bringing some intensity to it. So, but yeah, Steven's great.
How do you do that as a director? How do you work with an actor to get that intensity? I know on the weekend here we had Supernova, and it was something that kept on coming up on some of the panels, that some of these really nice Australian actors have been playing really nasty characters just recently, and they were talking about getting that performance out. How do you help the actor get that performance out when they're playing a character that's so different to what they're like?
Well, I mean, Stephen brought it, man. We had very little time. I guess we auditioned and then we rehearsed about a week before we started shooting, which was kind of nice. And there's, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I think it was a lot through rehearsing, going over lines and kind of discussing what's happening. Each scene, we kind of talk about what happened before and what happens after, and just so you kind of get in your mindset of where you are in the story. And I mean, and then Steven was, definitely able to bring it as far as how much intensity you needed to have in any particular scene. So I think it's a lot of just kind of like making sure, we know where we are in the story, because we're shooting all that order, so.
Yep.
And that makes it a little bit of a difference. And then just rehearsing is huge because, we go over everything there. And again, when you make these little budget movies, you don't have a whole lot of time to it's run, you gotta go, so. Yeah, I mean, what else did we do? And then I think, he worked off really well off of Sawyer, the little kid actor who played Sawyer, Jack in the movie. And I don't know. I think there was that they just kind of worked well, and it just happened. I mean, sometimes you have like a good connection or a good vibe between all the actors, and it worked out. So
yeah,
pretty happy with that.
You mentioned Sawyer there. Sawyer did a great job as well. How did you go discovering such a great child actor?
Honestly, Cassie came in huge. She was huge in this. So Cassie does acting classes for kids. So she teaches, a class, and so she had a bunch of kids in her class, and that's how we found Laurel, the little girl, and she knew of Sawyer, and Sawyer auditioned, and it was just like, yeah, this kid is great. We're gonna go with this kid. So, and that came all through Cassie. So Cassie she did a great job helping us cast this movie for sure. So.
Does that throw up an interesting challenge for you as a director as well when you're working on a film that's like kind of horrifying in a sense, and you've got children on the set? Do you kind of have to shield them from some of the things that are happening in the film, and then have they actually been able to sit down and watch the film since it's been finished?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how I think Sawyer and Laurel came to the we had a little, crew screening, and they showed up, and they were prepared for it. Like Laurel was 5 at the time, and I think Sawyer was like 10, I think.
Yep.
I don't remember his. He's pretty young, and so they were totally into it. At the time when we were shooting, we introduced Laurel to Audrey, who played the monster, and she, talked to her before she had the full makeup on, and then when she had the full makeup on, we did a little introduction to, so she wouldn't like completely freak out.
Yeah.
So, and she was scared looking at the monster, while she was in full makeup, and so that was kind of cute. But I mean, it's like, once Audrey started talking, she was just like, "Oh, you're Audrey, yeah, oh, okay, yeah, okay, this is great," So it was like kind of you break that down that the wall of and it's not scary at all when everybody's there on set and the lights are all on.
Yeah.
There's 40 people there, so it's not like it's a little different than actual movie scary. So
definitely. Well, Dan, to finish up, what would you like to say to people out there who are about to watch your film for the first time?
Oh my God. We had a lot of fun making it. It was a super low budget thing. It's like one of those things that I'm super happy that it came about, and it's really hard making a movie. And gosh, I don't know how to pitch the first viewers. It's it's kind of a slow build, but it's definitely about characters, and you'll get to know the family, and then hopefully you care about what happens to them. So that's kind of the ride, and it is a ride. It is a ghost story. It is a sci-fi story. It is kind of unusual, and hopefully people will dig it.
Definitely. Well, mate, thank you so much for taking the